Hello, this is Tiki. We're going to be looking at a new recent strat of mine. Let's just start with this one. Playing lots of Pile decks lately. Pile being an older player who would run Lizard and 5 Fortification, then Lizard Badger 4 Fortification, or something along those lines. I never actually fought him. I only played him once when he briefly came back to the game. I was playing a couple of matches. But I just know that these types of decks are called Pile decks. Although, well, this isn't. I just classify any Lizard defense focused deck as a Pile deck. That's how I consider them. And here's one variation I was messing around with: a Lizard, Falcon, Boar, Mine, MG, Artillery. Now, the big issue with these decks is fighting owls, which, well, see, 90% of like you usually want to take Badger. Like I usually go Lizard, Pigeon, Badger, then Fortifications, and most of my replays will be that. Since you need something to deal with owls, and Badger's just really nice DPS to deal with units in general, since Lizards die to a lot of things very easily. So with this kind of deck, I tend to try to play aggressive, and I look for an opportunity to go take a mill near the enemy base and just start spewing fortifications. In this case, I decided to do 7 farm mill, and I've also put a mine here to stop his first unit. He's doing this, and I don't necessarily plan to go up to 8 farms this way. Like, I'm just planning to get a couple farms initially, and go move forward perhaps. It all depends. So Fleur is doing a very interesting 4 Chameleon start, and Chameleons are just a garbage opening in general. They don't beat anything. Okay, Skrill Chameleon can beat Skrill Skunk if the Skunk player doesn't micro correctly. But if the Skunk player has like perfect or near perfect micro, the Chameleons still lose. Lizards just kill Chameleons in the early, so. Playing maybe a little bit too defensive here. MG, bunch of Lizard Warrens. A better safe than sorry. And like he tries to move in, but like his composition isn't gonna do anything. Here, you always put the lizards. You always put your army in front of. You almost always put your army in front of the MG. But you want to keep the MG alive for 2 reasons. One, because it does a bunch of damage, and 2, because it's not easy to rebuild the MG necessarily. If the enemy attacks you while trying to build the MG, well, that's not good. You're always going to be rebuilding units, regardless of the situation. But the enemy can pressure you and stop you from rebuilding MG, which could be potentially fatal in a close situation. Like if they push, then like you're gonna push again, like 10 seconds later, they're just gonna kill the MG while it's building. Then they'll just win since they have more units. Since the food you try to put into an MG, they put in the warrens and units that are building. Little mine hit right there. And yeah, at this point, the game is basically over. Because I'm like 2 farms ahead, and he lost so much army. Like he's just way too behind in the economy, so I'm going Boar here. This is to finish out the game. The only way he could win this is if he did like some tier 3 trick. And I didn't scout it, but he doesn't have any tier 3s except Wolf, which is not going to work here. Or, nah, it wouldn't work. I mean, it could maybe if I didn't scout it at all. Another attack, put down a second MG, but like, yeah, I just have. He just doesn't have enough. Yeah, double Falcon War. Like, this game's super over, so let's fast forward. I'm just playing really defensive since I don't know how much army he has. Or I'm not entirely sure. And yeah, forward warrens and Skrill Chameleon just gets annihilated by Boar because the Boar one kills the Chameleons and the Flamethrower obviously kills the Skrills. Yes, it's a disaster for him. Oh yeah, this is a somewhat interesting game. He's got Riding Boar Fox. Very potent combo of units right there. If you don't have anything to counter it. But I have artillery and mines and MG in my deck. Oh, Boar kills MG, but the mines and artillery stop Fox. These are the maps I really like for fortifications, artillery in general, since you put down one artillery and you control much of the map already. Like, high mill density is really good for fortifications. Most maps with high mill density are just good for fortifications and artillery mine because you get tons of map control very quickly and easily. And if the enemy tries to move out, you can just space trade right away without issue, usually. I think I went 7 farm mill here again. And as you can see, you get the knife farm up sooner. Or did I just fast expand? I don't know. But I'm ahead in economy right now. Oh, so he does an early boar here. And I cancel his 2 farms, which again, you don't need to kill farms. Like, I canceled them. So now they're going to take a lot longer to get up. And like, I just have a 3 farm advantage, which is huge. Although he started boar. And I haven't scouted it yet. Which is unfortunate. The mines. Since I'm intending to put artillery here. Like, this is how it usually goes. Like, even when I do a fast expand, like, if I have an advantage, like, in this situation, like, okay, I'm gonna try to push up now, since the enemy wants to go economy, probably. So that'll give me room to put down artillery or whatnot safely. Now I scout. Then I see that there's a built boar war, and I'm like, well, I'm probably dead. Since he has, like, 20 seconds left on the board, and that's just really not awesome for me. So I have to go artillery. Ideally, I would have scouted this, like, double artillery is just gonna stop the boar. Like, double artillery falcon, throwing some mines, and he can't do anything. Or I get my own boar, too. That's an option. I'm just putting down lots of mines. I was like, well, I'm probably gonna lose here. I can try. Some little mine hits. It's not really mattering that much, but it's making him waste time trying to find the mines. So that's giving me time to get the artillery up. He took this meal for some reason, I guess for healing. He takes this meal, which is also a bit dangerous. Here comes artillery. And I think he just backs off here. Now I'm also getting my falcons out, so again, this isn't a really good for me. Since he lost some value, and I've just been so far ahead in economy here the entire time. Go strip 8 farms. And it's true that most of my economy is, or a lot of my food that I've got is tied up in artillery. Now artillery creeping up to the next mill. Seeing if I can do anything with the falcons. Maybe damage some boar, pick off the skrills. So I had to go my own boar here. So I can just go boar falcon. Since lizards aren't very useful here, it's kind of difficult to use them for flanking on this map, and his own boar and his tier 2 will just annihilate my lizards, so. Go ahead and grab the mill here. Sell off this artillery and move forward. He's putting down more farms on this mill, or on the 3rd mill, so yeah, he's definitely got the eco lead now. And I'm doing some very defensive artillery placement because, like, he still has a really big army, and I could still lose a trade really badly despite the artillery, since the board just kills all my lizards, and that'd be very bad. Then let's say I lose artillery cannon because I don't sell it. Like, it's just a very dangerous situation. Like, I need this mill or else I'm just gonna fall behind too much in economic tempo. I'm just being very defensive with my artillery. Doing some falcon dancing. We're both going at. He's going up to 8 falcons. I'm only going up to 6 falcons, which is not awesome for me. You do not want to fall behind in falcons as a lizard player because they get skrills in their backline to help against your falcons. You don't get anything since the lizards just die right away in a fight at some point in the game, like once the armies get big. In this case, the boar is just going to kill all the lizards. Get this net artillery up, killing this mill. Slowly taking an economic lead. And he's just going mass falcon. Which is a pretty good idea since his board just kills my lizards. And if he can just micro and kill my falcons, like I can't do a whole lot. Plus his board also kills my MGs. But he could definitely go much more greedy eco. And I don't know why he didn't. Like he could sell off a bunch of his skills. Like just go down to 6 skills. Plus his falcon count, he'll be fine. More eco. Yeah, he could have been playing a lot more greedy. Go ahead and decide to take this mill over here. Because if he goes to move out to kill this mill, I can move into his army and into his base. It also stops him from taking this mill. Like, even if you can't put farms on a faraway mill, sometimes it's still a really good idea to do it. Because the enemy has to send units over there to kill it, which could be very annoying or inconvenient for them, depending on their deck. If they don't have like a unit to split off. Like, see, he has to move away like 15 shields. That's a huge chunk of his army. So my mill's being attacked. I realize he split off something important. And I kind of hesitate since he still has more falcon. And about now here I go in. And at this point, the falcon counts were pretty similar. But I think my board tanked a bunch of damage. And the lizards did help a little. And like all his... Plus my board is all his skills. And that's GG. Yeah, definitely a huge economic advantage, or very significant, but he was investing a lot of his money back into economy, and then he split his army up, and this did not work there. Oh, I have a lot against that Kippo. Damn. I'm trying to look exclusively at the pile decks. Okay, not this one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I've been messing around with mines and artillery a lot lately, just to try something new. Give something else a shot, to switch things up. Because I get bored of playing the same thing over and over again. Yeah, here's my more standard pile style deck with Lizard, Pigeon, Badger, and these 3. Now you can drop mines for barbed wire if you want. Or like go barbed wire, sniper balloon artillery is also a very viable option. And arguably better. Tries to mole me, but I just put down a mine. Yeah, he loses a mole. Yeah, so he's a little bit behind on economic tempo because of that. It's not particularly significant though. Trying to think if there's anything in comment. Oh, this style, it's a really fun style of deck. Like, there's some very significant weaknesses. Like, this deck in particular, just Ferret, Toad, is kind of really bad for it. But, like, if the enemy doesn't expect it, if any sort of contain strat or forward fortification strategy, if you manage to catch the enemy off guard, it can be very, very potent. Since it's really hard to break MGs cost effectively without Ferret or Boar. Then you have other, whatever, just to kill them. In this case, I can maybe get the artillery out before the Ferret kills me or attacks me, so. Although if you're running sniper balloon, you don't even have to worry about Ferrets. So again, pretty greedy play here. And I'm playing this greedy because I have like two 10-second fortifications, mine and MG, and they're both can be very, very effective. Like you can't run into them. You have to go around them if you want to be cost effective. He's doing Pigeon Chameleon, which is it's very good against Lizard if you win the fight, but in equal fights it doesn't really matter. The pigeons don't heal enough. The Lizard DPS is just too much. Nice little mine here. I think he saw it and was intentionally clearing it. Yeah, this just isn't enough. Between the MG and all my lizards coming out, like the second chameleon's way back here. Have the pig shipping into it. It's just, yeah, not gonna work. And that was pretty much GG. Where? Okay, there you go. Because again, I'm just so far ahead in economy. And I can just keep on building more and more units. Another fight and it goes horribly full. Like, lizards just have so much DPS. Like, Camsfield, this isn't good against it in open terrain. Particularly if the chameleons are isolated at all. Since cams are good against lizards when the lizards can't focus the chameleons if they're like in the middle of a blob, since lizards have short range. But if the lizards are outside the skill blob, they just get targeted down by the lizards so quickly. Okay, so this is a very interesting fight, since I thought, well, I just won the last two fights, so I should be able to win this one too. But nope. I guess I had a bunch of lizards still back here. Like, I kind of end up losing. I sold artillery cannon. I was like, really? I lost that? Like, I can't believe I lost it that bad. That was insane. I guess I just had too many lizards back here instead of at the front. So now this is a pretty bad situation, and I thought he had economy behind it. So I decided to try out a badger, because he doesn't. Like, these units aren't gonna do anything against the badger. Like, there's not enough DP. Mass skill can kill badger if the badger is careful, but as long as you're careful, like this army can't kill a badger if the badger just kites properly and maneuvers properly. Just pigeons. Yeah, no, he actually has no economy behind this, which I did not know at the time. And push through, but like both MGs are now up, and like they do so much damage. Like they're killing his skills really fastly. Plus the reinforcing lizards, like it's just too much attrition to his army, and he can't continue to push. Yeah, this. Like he goes a mill now, but it's way too late. No pigeons, and like, see, the badger's just an awful unit, but you need it in this deck to deal with owls. And it's just too useful in this deck because lizards don't do enough by themselves. For like, he had like 9 skills, and my badger is already at half health after 2 seconds. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the badger is literally made of paper, and it takes, you know, like 4 seconds or whatever to rev up. So that's so much time to die. Okay, here's another one, same deck. I'm trying to remember how this one went. Oh yeah, okay. So the thing is with mines, like you really don't want the enemy to scout them, since the commander can reveal the mines. Like it's just still, if you stand still for 1.2 seconds, and the next patch will be nerfed to 2 seconds. You will reveal hidden units, and 3x3 radius around the commander. So like he can't scout these mines at all. So I'm putting him like here right now. And usually you want to wait till like him right after the enemy commander passes you. You put down the mines since that's usually enough time before they get back there and do it like another scout cycle. But I put him here since this is cliff water. It's a really awkward position to attack. So if I just get set up here with artillery, I just win the game since I have more mills on my side of the map. Although he's making things interesting and going to mole. And I scout this obviously since I see his farms like something's wrong here. So I wasn't sure if it was a warden or a mole at first, but fortunately I see him on the mini map for the mole, so I get the farm sell off just fine. And he does this really weird thing and doubles down with the moles, and you like people double down with moles a lot of time, but it just doesn't work 95% of the time. Like you don't want to double down with moles. It usually just doesn't end up working out. And he doesn't see the mine. So he just lost 2 moles there, which is 40 food. Then I didn't lose anything. I guess I lost 20 food to the mine. But yeah, I'm just ahead there. And he expands, which is really what I want him to do. Because that's more food for me to get set up here. Like if he had more army, he could potentially stop me from getting set up. And he does put down mole warrens actually. But I'm still going to get enough time here. So I could have gone in there. Like, that was my bad. Since he only had 2 skills, I could have killed both skills and ran out. And that would have been huge for me. So yeah, there's a big window for him here. But again, I have the mines already set up. And I'm getting the MG set up. Put down the farm because I'm very confident in my position. Maybe a little too confident, honestly. That's a lot of units. Put down a second MG, and you have to be very careful with managing your production. Since if you put too much food in defenses, like when you lose the defenses, you just lose the game. Since you don't have any production to sustain your defense, if your like fortifications go down, so you can't forget to build warrens. So this is actually pretty tight for me right now, since he just has so much material. Look at that, MG goes down, and like he has 5 warrens versus my 3 warrens, which so if I lost both my MGs and he kept on attacking, like I would just have almost half his protection, so I would just lose. So it's close here, but I still have just 1 farm up, which is slowly starting to kick in. And at this point, he basically has about 1 push left. It was a little bit premature with that attack right there, unfortunately. Lost some lizards. I was hoping to kill some units before he finished regrouping. Put down another lizard warren. More MGs. And he's thinking about going around, but at this point, I don't think he goes in again. So, like, I just decided to put down artillery here since he's just trying to buy farms here. Probably should have got him here. Now he's starting to tech up. Yeah, again, this situation looks really good for me since, like, this is a pretty tight map. I have map control once this artillery goes out. There's not a whole lot he can do. Artillery goes up, which is really bad for him. At this point, I decided to start selling FMGs since I don't need them. Since artillery's up, I decided to go Badger so I can deal with any tier 3 he has. If he has Fox, I just kill him with a Mass Liz. If he has any other tier 3, I just kill him with the Badger and Pigeon. Ideally. But he has snakes. If he had 4 snakes, like if you have 4 snakes, you can kill a Badger super easily, regardless of pigeons. But at this point, the game's basically all but over, since he's just way too far behind on economy. Now he goes and buys this mill. Like again, if you have money to spare, it's generally a good idea to buy faraway mills. Like because in this case, it's actually kind of awkward for me to split off units since this is a very short rush distance. In this particular situation, I just have enough fortifications to probably stop him. At least when my Badger gets out. But before the Badger comes out, like I can't split off the lizards because like I just don't have enough army here to protect my mill. He has snakes. Like he's just gonna put snake tags on the mill and kill it. Which would be very unfortunate for me. So I actually decided to solo rally the Badger, but then I see that he's bringing the rest of his army over, which is unfortunate since I want to fight him under my defenses. But I decided to go in. Hope for the best. Actually, I do end up backing off since I was still gauging the situation. Like this is like if he had put his economy on this mill at the beginning, like he probably could have killed me here, honestly, or done a lot more damage. Because this fight was very close, and we have to remember like how low economy he was the entire game. Like I barely won this fight. Just a little bit more army, just a little bit better economy in early game. Like if we just put the 3 farms on this mill instead of this one. You could have won that fight and probably the game. And he surrenders her. It's this one. What is this one? Oh yeah, with this one. Seven farm mill, mine in the middle to protect against his first unit. But I actually go 6 farm triple war, which is kind of. Oh shit. Well, not really. I need to react to it, but it's questionable since he's going to be really behind on economy. First lizard does not detonate on the mine, unfortunately. And I didn't... Okay, now I put down the mine, but I think it's too late. Yeah, the mine doesn't go up soon enough, but I do get to sell, fortunately. And so this lizard detonates right here, and my 2 lizards come out and kill his other 3 lizards. So he actually just lost 4 lizards, which is huge. That's disastrous. Plus he's on 6 farms, so he's super behind in the game now. A little bit of a lizard, or yeah, lizard dancing. Mines. Get a little bit overconfident here, unfortunately. And I end up losing the farm. I should have sold the farm, but I didn't think I would need to. So yeah, we lost about the same army, but I lost the farm, so I actually won that trade, which is very unfortunate. Kind of equalized the game there. Like, I'm still ahead, but not as much as I just was. Putting down some mines. Like at this point, it's kind of a macro game, and I have the mines to defend against his lizards. He's running an artillery owl. Very standard deck, so most people are probably run trills instead of lizards here. But either work is fine. Can I do like 2-3 farms and go forward a lot? Since it's just like I get the first 3 farms out faster, then I decided to try to expand. Doing MG mine here since, like, with lizards, it's kind of hard to blow up mines with lizards. Usually the lizards just rally on top of the mines by accident, and blow up. Here comes artillery, but I do not know he has his own artillery. So he does this. He puts his artillery like right here. And his artillery can hit my mill, but my artillery can't hit his mill. And I can't build a new artillery since his artillery is coming out first. And I can't punish his artillery since I just spent 180 food on my own artillery. So the very difficult situation, and now he has map control. Like, I don't have any other mills I can take. This is looking very bad for me. Just a little bit closer. I could have killed his mill. And now he's putting down owls. 2 owls, but he doesn't have any snakes yet. And I'm going badger. And the badger will kill the owls, so. Going second badger since I know I need the bat. Like, he's going double owl. I'm gonna need 2 badgers. And plus as insurance in case one badger dies. Like, if both badgers die, I lose the game since he's just gonna run over me with the owls. Still keeping the mines up since, while they're not good, they don't get value against mice. At least they're very good tempo wise and still clean out the mice horde really nicely. Yeah, this game should have been over if he just built some falcons and snakes, but he didn't. And I can just micro the badger to ignore the artillery. And it's hard for him to go on blizzards, so I can just kite back. And my badger's getting revved up on the mice too, so. It's pretty difficult for him here. Like, his best bet would have been to go in. Plus, I also do have artillery, so it's difficult. Kite back again. My badger almost dies. Badger's literally made of paper, unfortunately. Like, I do not feel like the pigeons heal fast at all. Here comes the second badger. At this point, it's game over. Because, like, he's just losing value. Like, he does get one snake out, but at this point, it's kind of too late. Like, he loses an owl here, then he loses the other one. Like, he just loses his entire army to the badger rev, plus the artillery. And, like, regardless of the snake, it's just not enough. As you can see, I do lose one badger somehow. Like, I don't understand how this works. Okay, so there's 5 poison tags, but I have 9 pigeons for the badger. How does this die? Okay, first of all, why are there only 3 pigeons healing the badger instead of 9? Like, I wish pigeons had some AI for healing. That, you know, not be completely worthless or next to worthless. Like, they're okay with tier 2. But with tier 3, they're not reliable at all. It's ridiculous. Like, that was stupid. But I need badger in this deck. Like, pigeon boar, like, this dies the falcon, so. Or tier 2. I mean, yeah, there's another 5, but he just doesn't have enough army, so. Any more? this one's against Meek. Okay. I have more replays to show, but this will be my last replay for this video in particular. Both double Warren, then we expand. Put down a mine. I haven't scouted this expansion yet, now I do. Again, this is another very good map for this deck because I can, like, it's not completely tight, but it's not completely open terrain with all the elevation shifts plus the bits of cliff and mills in the way. End up sniping a 3-yard wire here, which is just a little bit of value. It's nice. But I can just put artillery on this high ground and start to dominate. Then I can use lizard flanking to deal with this mill, and maybe even this mill potentially. End up losing a lizard, so that trade was not worth it. It's barbed wire is only 10, lizards are 20. And now Meek's really going down into barbed wire's hand. This is something he's been doing a lot lately because, like, you can't get through barbed wire. Even with pigeons, it's really hard because, like, your entire army still just gets killed right away. And barbed wire actually does a ton of damage if you're, like, hitting 4 or 5 of them at the same time. Yeah, so I see this too. Wait, did I scout the 8 farms? Yeah, I did. Okay. So just like, okay, Meek's up to something. Something not good. So I decided to put artillery down here. Since, like, you need a window of opportunity to put the artillery down. Like, I can catch back up in eco later. And it's a very delicate balance between fortifications and eco. But once artillery is down, like, getting artillery down is one of the hardest parts of artillery. So take an opportunity if the game gives you it. Even if you're going to be slower on the eco. If your deck is relying on artillery, that is, like this deck. Here comes the boar, which doesn't surprise me since, like, he's going some sort of tier 3. I'll actually end up scouting the boar, which is nice. Boar's not good against Badger. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about this. Goes up to 8 farms on this mill. I put a mine here to spy. So yeah, he sees that I scouted it and he goes right back there immediately. Now when something like this happens, if you scout or if you suspect the hidden mill has gone up, sometimes you want to wait a minute to let the pigs build. Then you go in and kill everything. Because if you go in right away and the pigs are still building, the enemy, if they realize it, they can just go back and sell them. Like if I had waited 20 seconds there, all his pigs will be up, then I just go in and kill all the pigs and my lizards. Which would have been a ton of value. In that case, I just killed him. He puts it back up right away, which is unsurprising. But whatever. More mines, another artillery. And my Badger is about 20 seconds behind here, 25 seconds around there, which is unfortunate. Go ahead and decide to kill this mill again. No reason not to. Go ahead and take this mill just to stop him from building on it, in case there's a base race or just whatever reason. I have to pull off units to kill this, so. You need some value of the artillery. It's nice. Yeah, it takes a long way around to get around artillery, but this gives me time to get my Badger up. And yeah, it's just, there's just not enough material here. Like maybe you can snipe the Badger if I'm not careful. But it's just too difficult for me to do that. Especially with me having pigeons up. Although it's still pretty close. Well, it's not that close, but see, I have to force the Badger back so it doesn't get boar bombed. But if I go back with the Badger, then all my pigeons die to his army. But it still just wasn't enough there. And the game's basically over. Since he lost a lot more food, he doesn't have any safe third mills. And like here, how do I get through barbed wire? It's like impossible. Like I barely managed to do it here, but I lose all my lizards to like 4 barbed wire. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, now the badger's just killing everything. Definitely have some more of this style of deck to show. I think I have some games against Smoko with it. What else do I have? I also have some against Knight, who is a new player, but they're very good for a new player. Some against QQ. Yeah, but that's the end of this video.